Bell Time by Sophie Tuvey, Chapter 22. What was that? I speak into the darkness, straining my eyes to see Michael. I realise he's standing by the edge of the curtain that covers the patio doors. Michael? Something's going on out there, he says grimly. He starts pulling on a sweater. I'm going out to see. What? I croak, rubbing my eyes. I'll be back in a minute. He unlocks the door, and I hear the crunch of it opening, then a click as it shuts. Silence. I try to breathe. What could have made the noise? What is Michael doing? I really don't want to go out there. But my curiosity has been piqued, and I can't sleep, so I turn the duvet aside and grab my coat, slipping on my trainers. The side gate is slightly ajar, so I walk forwards. A hand grabs my sleeve and pulls me back into the shadows. Stay back. It's Michael. You're lucky I didn't scream. Look. A JCB is outside the shop, and the window is totally smashed. Some men are moving the ATM cash machine onto a trailer. I can see the guy who swore at me earlier. I knew there was something odd about that van, Michael whispers. Have you called the police? I ask. Yes. Right. Should we go back to bed then? You can if you want. I want to stay and watch. What if they find you? The police might need me to give evidence. I tried filming, but it's too dark out here. I'd have to get closer. Michael, just come inside. The police can handle this. He's got that glazed look of determination. Why is he so obsessive about this stuff? Perhaps Steph was right with the James Bond analogy. The sound of sirens echoes down the quiet street. The men start shouting to one another, and the JCB starts moving. How can they get away in a JCB? I whisper. It's a bit obvious, isn't it? The police cars swerve round the corner and block the road off. Officers start appearing and the men scatter in all directions. One is heading straight for us. Keep back! I'll get him, Michael hisses. Oh no, definitely James Bond. A guy in a balaclava and black jacket speeds towards us and rushes into the garden gate. Michael is off immediately to pursue him. Hey! I call to an officer nearby. He went through the gate. The officer follows and I run along behind. I am not cut out for this TV cops thing. On the lawn, Michael is restraining the guy with his hands behind his back and holding him down by pressing his knee into his back. The officer handcuffs the man and Michael helps to escort him out to the police car. With some satisfaction, I recognise the man who swore at me earlier once they remove his balaclava. I'm tempted to snap a pic to share on the WC chat, the antithesis of holiday shots, but I don't think they'd see the funny side. And Katie? She's probably already tracking me by my phone's GPS and got the local police on speed dial. I sigh and head inside again. Time for a cup of tea. It's nearly morning by the time the officers have taken our statements, and the whole street is swarming with police cars and tape to cordon off the damaged area of the shop. Michael is buzzing with excitement, using phrases like clear intention and coordinated crime outfit, and basically shadowing the officers wherever he can. It's driving me crazy. I'm going to go to the main kitchen and see if Sylvia's up. I enter the house. For once, the dogs don't bowl me over, and they half-heartedly sniff me before returning to their baskets. Sylvia appears in a dressing gown. Without makeup, she looks more frail. What's going on out there? JCB smashed the shop window to get the cash machine. Oh! Sylvia sits down in shock. I quickly make her some tea. Donald pads over to Sylvia and rests his head mournfully on her lap. Daisy brushes against my legs and I find myself reaching down to stroke this dog that I don't really like. It's soothing somehow. Never had anything like that round here before, she says. Someone tried to steal my mum's canoe once. Do you live near a river? Sylvia seems interested. I figure it's a good distraction from the crime just outside the door. Near a canal, actually. My back garden ran down to it. We kept a canoe tied up. One day we were walking on the canal path and we saw someone trying to untie it. I smile as I remember. My mum said, "Is that your canoe?" The guy said, yes. She said, that's not your canoe. I know that because it's my canoe. Sylvia laughs with me. Your mum sounds quite a character. I take a gulp of my tea. She died a few years ago. I don't know why I'm saying this. I don't often mention mum, and this woman is almost a complete stranger, and definitely bonkers. What happened? Cancer. I'm sorry. Sylvia's eyes look misty, and the genuineness of her sympathy makes me choke in an unexpected sob. Here, she hands me a tissue. It's okay to cry, you know. It's been 8 years now. That doesn't mean it hurts any less. It turns out Sylvia is a trained volunteer bereavement counsellor. She may talk like royalty and wear expensive wellies, but she's a fantastic listener. Sitting at her kitchen table, I find myself telling her all about Mum, Katie, Dad, and the struggle of living at home while studying for my degree, then helping Katie with her applications, sending her off to live on campus, and finally moving out into my own flat. How's your dad been coping on his own? She asks. I look down at the table. He just withdraws into his shed all the time. He wants to pretend that nothing's happened. I know I should visit him more often, but he just talks about Mum as if she was a saint. I know she's gone now, but I still feel so angry at what she did. You're not wrong to be angry, Sylvia says carefully. But if you allow that anger to become a barrier in your relationship with your dad, who's the only parent you have left, then that seems sad to me. Outside the kitchen window, there are birds all over the feeding station. I watch the sparrows and robins flitter about, and a fat wood pigeon lands in the bird bath and scatters them. After Winston died, I hated being alone in the house. That's why I started renting out the cabin, Sylvia says, sipping her tea. I sigh. I should definitely ring Dad and arrange to see him as soon as we get back. How long have you and Michael been together? She asks. I shift in my seat. Not long at all, I reply. He's a bit like Action Man out there. Sylvia nods towards the window where Michael is still with the police officers. Maybe he did choose the wrong career. I don't think Michael knows how to sit still. I say it without thinking, really. My guard is down. Sylvia places her cup down on the table. People are so busy these days, she comments. You remind me of my daughter. She's always rushing around. She points to a photograph on the wall where a blonde, athletic girl is on a sailing boat. Just make sure you're not so busy that you can't enjoy life with the people who matter the most to you, Sylvia says. Would you like to join me for some yoga in the studio? Sure. I drain the rest of my tea and set the mug down. Why not? I might discover I actually like it. Given the events of the past 48 hours, nothing can surprise me now.